Okay, next one on here, we're now on to monetary policy. Okay, remember monetary policy, right. 2009, 0.5 interest rates. Between 2009 and 2021, interest rates were really, really low. Cheaper to borrow money, therefore C&I will go up and house prices will go up, so it's cheaper to borrow money. That is the transmission mechanism, and also the exchange rate will go down because hot money will go abroad, and that is not the same as FDI. Okay, conventional monetary policy is interest rates and exchange rates. Unconventional monetary policy is forward guidance, QE, credit easing, and modern monetary financing. Remember QE is in the secondary market, remember. You buy bonds, the price of bonds goes up, the coupon stays the same, the price of bonds goes up, the yield goes down, therefore lower rates of interest, etc. Also QE, cash for banks. There's more cash for banks, so therefore there's more lending. There's more lending, so therefore that will also increase AD. And also if you print money or you give money to the banks, as expectations will go up, that times are getting better again, so that will lead to an increase in AD. MMT is you create the bonds yourself and then you give the cash straight to the government. And remember, we have that discussion, is this then a bit like, is monetary policy becoming like fiscal policy? Okay, but remember, you print loads of money, MV equals PET, and that could then create a problem. Okay, 38, globalization, developed countries. Okay, what's good about it and what's bad about it? Globalization. It's good for foreign direct investment. You can have a whole paragraph on that. It pays for our trade deficit, more investment, pushes out the AS and the AD curve. It's also good for immigration. We get lots of workers who will come into the UK. That will increase the underlying trend rate of growth, which will also increase the productive potential. However, the argument against that is that we're going to have more money that's going to be spent on public services. Suppose the argument against here is our primary income balance will actually get worse. And then we get the advantages of trade, comparative advantage, absolute advantage, dynamic efficiency, more competition. Right. However, right now we may be slightly anti-globalization because we used to rely on, or Europe did, for oil and gas, but we can't do that anymore. So when there's a crisis, that will affect everybody else. For steel, we could be relying on China for more and more steel. We could be relying on China for solar panels. So if we outsource all of our manufacturing, it makes our economy much riskier. Hence the idea for the Green Revolution. Right, it's also created trade deficits in the UK, and that's also created a problem. It's also created the problem of climate change. Conclusion is we do not want to outsource everything that we do. Overall, it's good, but globalization has to be managed. Okay, it would help if we had more security in terms of our energy. It would help if we had our own steel industry, an even bigger steel industry. It may help if we produce our own wind turbines and solar panels, because that would just make our country much safer. Okay, so then we have globalization. For less developed countries, the argument's a little bit different. The usual stuff about FDI. However, there has been times when they've abused their position and haven't paid the real price for all those primary extraction of resources. Also, the exploitation of resources. They've caused a lot of environmental damage, and a lot of it is dirty growth. And so at this moment in time, they've tended to depend on extractive resources. Less developed countries have not been able to diversify their economies. So, once again, they've also relied on Russian oil and gas. Why should they have a green revolution? They've not diversified their economies. The climate has given Africa a massive hit. And immigration works for them, works the opposite way, where the cleverer people will leave their country and maybe come to the developed world. So, the conclusion, it depends on how the FDI is used for a less developed country. If they can move up the value chain, e.g. Costa Rica had a green revolution, and for them, they've been quite clever because they have invested in their own countries. Multinational corporations, what's good about it? Same old arguments again. Multiple accelerator, FDI is really good, increase the trend rate of growth, pays the trade deficit. Hopefully they're going to increase trading, increase the skilled workers. However, hits the environment. Cold with the Congo hasn't been that great. Profits back to their own country, destruction of culture, possible tax avoidance, exploitation of workers. It could be good. Okay, next one, economic growth and development.